Did you know that Yaupon is the only tea plant indigenous to the United States? Hi, I'm CJ, the owner of Emerald Coast Tea Company. We have a line of Yaupon teas and Yaupon tea blends that will open your eyes to tea that is literally made in the USA. Check out our entire line of teas at www.emeraldcoastteacompany.com. Honey, this ain't your mama's tea.
You're listening to Underground USA.
Here's this morning's segment on the Captain's America Third Watch with Matt Bruce, as broadcast on the Salem and Genesis Communications networks to over 2 million people each and every night across the world.
Joining us right now, we have from undergroundusa.com, that's undergroundusa.com, we have Mr. Frank Salvato. Good morning, sir.
Mr. Captain.
Is it 109 degrees in the shade up there?
It's actually starting to cool down this week for a little bit, so let's just keep fingers crossed.
Yeah, because you might have some rain in the offing, so that would definitely cool it off.
It would be welcome.
Well, the Dems are putting on quite a show with another lie that they're pushing, that abortion is not around anymore. It's gone. It's been taken away by those terrible Republicans. That's all I heard with some young people that were talking yesterday. And I just sat there and I listened to what they had to say. They had no idea who I was or what I was up to. But I was getting my lunch, and I was listening to probably 15 or 20 young people talk about this ruling. And every one of them believed that abortion was gone.
Well, that's because that's what the leftist politicians are saying, and that's what the media is pumping. And once again, the right side of the aisle is failing in controlling the narrative. Mm-hmm. The truth is on our side. Everyone should have been in front of a microphone or a camera explaining exactly what that ruling meant, mm-hmm. and it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So this is now going to be an uphill battle to get people like those kids you were talking about to understand that this is not the case. Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, the issue here is not necessarily abortion, although that's the vehicle. What's happening here is the fact that we have a ruling that limited the federal government's authority, something you almost never see.
Right.
When you couch it that way, there's not anyone in the country who would say it's a bad ruling.
Yep.
But that's not the way it's being couched. It's like they've eliminated a right. Well, I hate to break this to people, but abortion is not a right.
Never has been.
Well, it's not enumerated anyway.
Nope.
It's not in the Constitution. It's not in the Bill of Rights.
Nope.
The idea of privacy may be alluded to in the Fourth Amendment, but even privacy is not enshrined as an enumerated right in the Bill of Rights. So talk about dropping the ball when it comes to educating the public, and that's something that the right needs to do.
Yep.
We need to educate the public. If the schools are going to fail on teaching constitutional literacy, mm-hmm. then we've got to start. The insane vitriol that I've seen on social media about this, even for people that I used to respect, mm-hmm. I had to throw my hands up in the air.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about three individuals here. We don't have enough time to do it now, but I'm going to move on to my next topic, and then we'll come back to that after the break. Senator Lindsey Graham, said that the economy will trump abortion in the midterms for being the number one issue.
Well, yes, because people are feeling it in the pocketbook, but the Republicans didn't do any favors for themselves by not getting out in front of this. They had time, too, because it was leaked. Alito's draft was leaked. Yep. We should have been out there screaming from the podiums about exactly what it meant, and they failed to do that too. So, Lindsey, I don't know. Republicans will be talking about the economy, but the left right now, they're outraged. They're foaming at the mouth because they think the right to abortion has been abolished, and it's just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the case.
Yep. Well, by ruling New York State's restrictions on law-abiding citizens carrying handguns unconstitutional, the Supreme Court simply did what the Constitution states: allows Americans to bear arms.
The difference between these two issues is so clear, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The right to bear arms is specifically stated in the Constitution.
You bet.
In the Bill of Rights. It's stated. It's sacrosanct. It's part of the compact that all the states signed on to.
Mm-hmm.
Abortion is not.
All right, hold that thought, my friend. And folks, will be right back with Frank Salvato, UndergroundUSA.com, right after these messages.
This is Kyle Warren. Stay tuned. There's more of the Captain's America Third Watch coming up right after this short break. And if you'd like to join the conversation, call us now at 1-877-969-8600.
The woman I have searched for all my life, and that's a really long time when you get to be my age, was addicted to vaping. It was like an appendage in her hand. When she'd get deeply into something or her anxiety level would grow, it was as if she was walking around in a London fog. In our non-smoking culture, when we'd be out, she'd always have to excuse herself to go outside to take a few puffs just to satisfy the craving. So when the good people at Fume approached me to showcase their product on Underground USA, I immediately started researching their product. Fume, spelled F-U-M with the double dot diaeresis over the U, is the all-natural inhaler designed for a better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes and vaping. It's a no-smoke, no-vape, and no-nicotine replacement for the hand-to-mouth habit associated with smoking and vaping. Fume handcrafts wooden inhalers and uses cores infused with plant oils that have been clinically proven to curb cravings. They have flavors like peppermint and conker, with minty notes to simulate menthol cigarettes, and they have other flavors like cozy chai and lemon berry bliss for those who are used to a sweeter experience. And all their flavors are 100% natural, no harmful chemicals, no artificial flavors, and absolutely no nicotine. Whether you're a smoker, an ex-smoker who still struggles with the cravings, or a vapor like the love of my life, Fume is the perfect break-the-habit tool for you. Face it, the only thing you really have to lose is the habit and the cost of that habit, which is both a financial cost and a matter of health. Come on, you know it. So head on over to breathefume.com/UUSA and use the promo code UUSA. That's the letters UUSA to save 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order, an order that could lead you or the one you love to better health and a little bit more wealth. Go to breathefum.com/UUSA and use code UUSA. It's better to offer a smoker or a vapor a path to a solution rather than a constant complaint. And if you're like me, if you care enough to be concerned, Fume could help you have more years for the one you've searched for all your life. Go to breathefume, breathefum.com/UUSA and use the UUSA code today. Gain some days with the one you love.
News, insight, passion. AM 930, The Answer.
This is Frank Salvato from Underground USA, and you're listening to the Captain's America Third Watch with Matt Bruce, heard by over 2 million people coast to coast and around the world every night. Captain, let's do it.
All right, I will be doing it in just a second here. Frank Salvato's hanging on the line. I got to tell you that this particular portion of the program is brought to you by Moss Family Automotive and Moss Nissan. So check them out online at Moss, M-A-U-S, Nissan.com. MossNissan.com. All right, Frank Salvato, UndergroundUSA.com is with us. Good morning, sir.
Mr. Captain.
Now, we have talked before about these three women, but after what I saw and after what I heard last week, again, blatantly, and by the way, you take an oath to be a congresswoman or a political a person. When you take that oath, you swear to follow the laws of the United States of America, the Constitution, and to stand up and support your government, basically, is what it is, right?
No, you swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, yeah.
So, we got Nancy Pelosi, we got Maxine Waters, and we got AOC out in the street yelling and screaming and trying to incite the people they've got following them for whatever reason. Still haven't figured that out. And go out and get in their face, knock on the doors, yell at them, make noise, whatever, and all this crap that they're doing. I mean, I'm obviously just throwing a whole bunch of stuff out there, but they're going full throttle on inciting these people, and not one of these women should be sitting in Congress right now because of what they did. They violated their oath of office.
No, this is politics today, sad as it is. But, yeah, they did. You've got Nancy Pelosi's out there saying the right to abortion has been abolished. A blatant lie.
Yep.
You've got her saying that as they're telling people that the states have the right to trump the Constitution, they're taking away a right with the other hand, the blatant hypocrisy. Talking about the New York ruling against the abortion, the Roe ruling, the overturning, which is again constitutionally illiterate to the level of ignorant. Mm-hmm. You've got AOC saying that all women and birthing persons, that I had to giggle at a little bit if it wasn't so infuriating. All women and birthing persons are now their lives are in danger. And Maxine Waters, she's just consistently an idiot.
Yep.
But, let's go back to AOC for a second. How did the decision put every woman and birthing person's life in danger? It left it up to the states where it belongs. Mm-hmm. I had to say this in 6 different conversations with people that I thought were smart on social media. The right to an abortion has not been repealed. It hasn't been negated. It's been the authority over this issue has been given back to the states where it belongs,
right?
Because it's not an enumerated power where it belonged. This court righted a wrong by giving power back to the states where it belongs. Mm-hmm. So when you're saying that all women's lives are in danger, well, that's a blatant lie because the states are making these decisions now. California and New York will probably go hyper to the left on this now, well past what Roe established in the common. I'm betting that in New York and California, and especially Illinois now, you'll be able to have partial birth abortion.
Yeah, probably.
So it's up to each state individually to figure it out. Nobody has been denied it. No one has been criminalized on this. If you live in a state where they say, you know what, we believe in the sanctity of life, and except for the cases of rape, incest, and the life of the mother, you could actually get in a vehicle and go to the state where you need to get this done and have it done if you're that hell-bent on it.
Yeah.
And in most states, you're going to see them continue to have abortion services at these hospitals and through doctors under certain conditions. Mm-hmm. Life of the mother, rape, incest, things that everybody 99% of us can agree upon. So this idea that it's been banished and anybody who wants an abortion is going to have to exist in a back alley, paying in backwater money to a decertified doctor with a rusty coat hanger.
Yeah.
This is all fear-mongering by these people because they've got nothing for the midterms.
Well, here's what Nancy said specifically. She attacked the radical Supreme Court, describing it as a Republican-controlled Supreme Court. Pelosi also tried to jack up more anger against the court, saying that the court was already talking about going after other rights, including contraception, when the court specifically said that wasn't true.
Yeah, and that's a big one. It's in the decision. If you read it, they say this has nothing to do with contraceptives, has nothing to do with same-sex marriage. This is exclusive to abortion. And yet she's blatantly lying to the people. Blatantly.
Now, I got an email. Yep. I got an email from her. Again, they ship an email to somebody that they don't know who it is, and it's me, which is funny. And the email, Nancy Pelosi said, she encouraged people to rise up against the far-right extremists of the Supreme Court. What the hell does that sound like to you?
Well, it sounds like inciting insurrection is what it sounds like.
That's right.
But the idea that they're taking this opportunity to suck the Supreme Court into the political realm, where the Supreme Court does not exist in the political realm. It exists in a constitutional realm.
Mm-hmm.
So by her name calling and trying to identify them as radical and Republican, and, she's trying to suck it into the political argument. This is just another failure. And I know I'm coming down hard on the Republicans during a time when the positioning is good. The Supreme Court is actually ruling constitutionally, and it's usually good for Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to get their stuff together when it comes to narrative,
right?
To getting in front of the narrative. They suck at it.
Yep.
This never should have been an issue. They should have been saying what Pelosi was going to say, what AIC was going to say, what lunatic Waters was going to say. They should have been putting the script out there 2 weeks ago, saying this is what's going to happen when the decision comes down. This is what they're going to say.
Frank, do you know who did say that, Frank?
Well,
we did. We did.
Ever since Alito.
We did.
It was late.
How do you like us now out there, folks? We did. We said it. Jeez whiz, I'm telling you.
It's stunning how deaf Washington is.
Oh, unbelievable. All right, hold that thought. Folks, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Convention of States and how that all fits into this. Don't go anywhere.
Real American Patriots in the overnight. Always live, conservative. The Captain's America Third Watch with Captain Matt Bruce.
Just a few years back, I had two of the most unique and personable dogs I had ever encountered. God rest their souls. Riley and Coulter. I named them after Bill O'Reilly and Ann Coulter, and you can take that whichever way it suits you. Riley, the larger male of the brother-sister pair, they were Beagle, Jack Russell, and a Pomeranian mix, would eat a boiled can if I put it within striking distance. So I was always on the lookout for something that would be nourishing, but wouldn't make him into a blimp. Coulter was the complete opposite. It was like trying to guess what Cleopatra wanted for dinner each day. Needless to say, the task of finding something store-bought fell to the wayside, and I ended up cooking for both of them. My friends thought I was insane. To that end, I wish our new sponsor's product would have been around back then. Sundays for Dogs is real food, not kibble. It's real food for dogs, formulated by a vet with only the highest quality fresh meat, vegetables, fruit, and superfoods. Made in the USA at a USDA human food facility. It's then air-dried to perfection into fresh dog food that's shelf-stable and affordable. It's 40% less expensive than leading fresh brands. Not that Riley would have needed it, but Sundays for Dogs elevated a dog's excitement about eating because it's real food, the same food that we eat. It helps manage weight, increases energy, and produces a softer coat and better digestion. Starting at just $2 a day on average, if you can keep your Riley away from the bag. It's all natural, real, raw, whole food that tastes like a treat, but it's actually a completely balanced and nutritious meal. And with a hassle-free money-back guarantee, it's a no-risk try. Plus, when you order online, enter the promo code UUSA, the letters UUSA, to receive a 35% discount on your first order. Go to sundaysfordogs.com and be sure to use the promo code UUSA to receive 35% off your first order. Do it for your Riley and Coulter. Not Bill and Ann, of course. I don't think they would care. sundaysfordogs.com.
News, insight, passion. AM 930, The Answer.
Okay, Frank Salvato, undergroundusa.com is with us. Good morning again, Mr. Frank.
Mr. Captain.
It should be mentioned that in all of this that's been going on, Ms. Pelosi does ask for money in her email that she sent out.
Of course she does.
Because that's what this email is truly about, not to mention saving them in the midterms. And even Maxine Waters is asking for money, and so is an AOC. They're all fundraising off this debacle that they're trying to make it look like the Supreme Court was the ones that need to be held responsible when they did the right thing, finally, after all these years.
When the Supreme Court rules in their favor, they're the first ones to tell you, that's it. It's the questioning is over. There's no more debate. The Supreme Court has ruled, and that's it now. We have to move on. They're the supreme law of the land, and you can't question their decision.
Mm-hmm.
When the SCOTUS doesn't rule in their favor, they're illegitimate, they're radical, they're irresponsible, they don't know what they're talking about. This is the game that they play, and they always ask for money. Always ask for money.
Mm-hmm.
And they they need to this time around because they're getting crushed in fundraising.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one more little thing that needs to be mentioned before we get to the Convention of States. It's amazing to me now how many people are facing the wrath of the whiners, including Justice Clarence Thomas, who's been called just about everything but a child of God since the news broke. The progressives just haven't saved their rage for Thomas either. Now they're seething out the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, her cardinal sin is, of all things, not retiring under a Democratic president and leaving her seat following her death to be appointed by President Trump.
Now, here's the question. Is it okay when there's a supermajority of liberals who are ruling in the progressives' favor all the time? Then it's not a radical court? Then it's not a politicized court? Then it's not a court that's jaded to one side? I think right there proves that point, that it's not about the Constitution. It's not about the rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
It's about whether or not they get their way. Like petulant children who throw a temper tantrum every time they don't get candy when they demand it.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrat Party always lashes out, name calls, threatens, and riots, loots, burns whenever they don't get their way, even if it's a constitutional ruling.
Yep.
So this tells you how intensely constitutionally illiterate most of our country has become.
Mm-hmm.
The people who don't understand that this ruling was the best thing since sliced bread because it limits the power of federal government per the Constitution. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That is the overriding point in this decision that cannot be denied.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to argue about everything else, every other emotional aspect of it. We are a nation of laws,
Yep.
not of emotion, not of men.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't been acting like that for a very long time.
Right. Now, before I get to the caller that's on the line, I want to bring out where we can go with all of this. It makes perfect sense. Now may be the time to do it. There are enough people out there that are riled up that they might want to get on board and try to do something. But it's the Convention of States.
There's two things, and this is supercharged by a Supreme Court that's actually making necessary decisions to defend the Constitution right now.
Correct.
So, bravo, guys. You're finally doing what you're supposed to be doing, even if John Roberts is voting a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Thank the good God for this. But our governors need to use nullification to push back on non-enumerated edicts coming out of the federal government. And we need to talk about a convention of the states to once and for all end the tyranny that's coming out of a centralized government, which was never supposed to have this much power in the first place.
Right.
If you have fears about a convention of the states, go to the website and read about it so that you understand it fully.
That's right.
There can be no runaway convention.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
all of the points are here beforehand going in. It's what they must discuss at a convention. Mm-hmm. And all of the points are points we can all agree on. It limits the federal government to the power that they were enumerated to have and re-empowers the states the way our country was meant to be.
Yep.
So now's the time. Now is the time, people. You always say, well, what can I do? This is it.
Mm-hmm. You bet. All right, now I'm going to go to the caller. Okay, Eric, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for my call. Real quick, excellent segue to this question, in my opinion, and I would like Frank's opinion on this. Okay, we had the abortion has been sent back down to the states as a states' rights issue. Totally get it, totally follow it. Now, the federal government is funding Planned Parenthood, and there has been a recension of the prevention of federal funds going to reproductive health, everybody read between the lines, through USAID overseas to actually fund abortions overseas. Now, the question is, are we in a constitutional crisis if this is occurring and Congress sets the monetary dissemination policy? I'll take my answer off the air. Thanks so much.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Frank.
No, I mean, right now the Republicans should be screaming at violation of the Hyde Amendment.
That's right.
Because we're not supposed to be funding anything that's going towards abortion. Now, on the state levels, they can choke this off. Mm-hmm. You know, but yes, there's got to be, once the Republicans get control back, they have to recodify that into a more potent law that forbids it and puts in penalties. Now, USAID, that comes under the executive branch.
Right.
When Congress starts talking about funding them, they can put caveats in saying no money will go for this. And perhaps they should. Those are two very good points to consider. You know, you can't say over here that there is, you know, we have freedom to choose this while you're pushing this as a herald in other places around the world. We shouldn't be intervening in the inner workings of countries around the world as it is. Mm-hmm. Funding abortion through USAID, which I believe comes under the purview of Samantha Power now.
Probably. Yep.
I think, and don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure she's
I think
the head
it does.
of USAID right now.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about a hyper radical? There's your hyper radical. And if she can actually figure out how to get the World Economic Forum's Great Reset to encompass that kind of a cost and force the United States to give that money, she would.
All right, Mr. Frank, I will talk to you on Friday. Great morning radio right here, and I look forward to talking to you on Friday, my friend.
Stay low.
All right, Frank Salvato, undergroundusa.com is the website. Go there, check it out, find out what he's all about. And we'll be right back with more and the Sports Zone quarterback.
Please like the episode on the platform you're listening to us on, leave a comment if it lets you, and share us with your friends and family. Our influence grows when you share our podcast. And don't forget to sign up for our Substack, which comes directly to you, subverting the interference of the internet gatekeepers and social media censors. You're listening to Underground USA. My name is Frank Salvato. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, this is Judson Carroll with the Southern Appalachian Herbs Podcast. One thing Frank always reminds me to mention is that my books and my podcasts are not limited to my region of the Southern Appalachian Mountains. I'm a master herbalist with a working knowledge of hundreds of herbs that are available all around you no matter where you live and keep your family in optimal health. I'm now offering a free newsletter through Substack. Please find me on Substack at Judson Carroll Master Herbalist or judsoncarroll.com, and I look forward to communicating with you in the future. Thanks.